All right, every single
Oh,
no, yeah, we're there now. But every single time it says it's the right one, but as soon as we reset or jump in, it has to be all right. Let's try this again. Let's see if TV's Travis comes back up.
This is Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom.
That's right, baby. What happens when Toys R Us kids grow up and become parents? They become the co-hosts of this show, where geeky fathers unite to share the joys, challenges, and hilarity of navigating parenthood. Because being a grown-up doesn't mean you stop being a fan. It just means your sidekicks call you dad. No more take twos. All right. So we're still not getting the notification in the chat.
It's
but
showing
geez.
live. We're good.
All right, sweet. All right. Whoo, Joe, such a smooth start. No mess, no fuss. We're all good.
False start, 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, random kid, absolutely. We went out for milk and cigarettes, but Joe said I had to come back and be on the show. So
I mean, that's what you went out for. I went out for milk and bread to make those milk sandwiches.
Because that storm.
Yeah, the storm that's allegedly coming. Although,
right. Can we do a husband rant real quick? See if you relate to this.
Okay.
All right. Now, my wife and I have not been. We don't get panicked about weather, right? For the most part, even in the worst of storms, our life has been okay, right? The power stays on. So on and so forth. There's some stories we can tell, whatever, but for the most part, zero tragedy. Okay. Well, for whatever reason, she was kind of getting worried a little bit about this next one, and Aaron was saying like, "Hey, make sure we find all the charger banks." Which I looked at her like, "Are you stupid?" Because you let our kids get their hands on those. When I said they have to go in this cabinet, because we have 8 of them, bought them specifically to then like sign out and sign back in, and you just handed them out like they were candy. We don't have charger banks anymore.
They're gone.
What are you talking? They are. Oh yes, kids. Hey, you have eating their boogers and stuff. So it's like, come on, man. So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start looking at what we've looked at, the Jackery portable charger bank, or the Anchor one, and they're expensive, right? Because I'm like, I want to run up to 3 space heaters for like 6 hours, right? I'm just thinking about the coldest part of the night, just in case. Because if you're worried about it, you should prep for it. Well, the Jackery now. How many? What's that one? What's the model on that one? Oh, you got the Anchor, not the Jackery, but still.
Yeah.
Is it like 2,000 watts, 3,000 watts? Is all I'm really looking for.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the actual box that it came in.
Sure.
Let me see.
But so I was looking. So basically, the advice I got was I need like minimum 2,000 watt output, plus 3. But you're talking about 500, 600, 700, up to $1,500, right? What's up, everybody? Neil's here, Random's here, Devo's here. So I was like, okay, I'll look at gas generators. I get a gas generator that'll run all night, run everything we want, plus like the fridge, if stuff goes out, for like the same price as one of those that's a lot less power, right? So I thought, okay, I'll go old school. Erin didn't like that. She didn't want either one of them. I don't think it's all that big deal. So I started looking at like kerosene heaters. I don't think it's then why are you worried about power banks? Because I am not worried about your stupid phones if the power goes out. I'm worried about freezing to death. All right. So I'm like, fine. My backup plan is there's a hotel. We can leave as far out of town as we have to get out. Well, if ice took down the power lines, how are you going to get out? I'm like, because power doesn't get fixed immediately, but the sunshine comes out and ice melts. So, Joe, the little rant there is, do you, in your household, I know somebody might be watching, but in your household, does somebody get concerned about something but doesn't want to do the practical things? Like, well, if you're really worried about the practical thing says we should get a generator or we should have something around just in case.
For the most part, if we're worried about something, both of us are willing to do it. Like I made sure yesterday. It might
be silly stuff too,
Yeah, but I like that power bank that I just showed you. I made sure that it was charged yesterday just in case. My in-laws, this was probably 10, 15 years. No, it couldn't have been 15 years ago. Like 10 years ago, they bought a generator because they had lost power after a tornado, and there was no signs that it was going to be fixed anytime soon, which they were very happy that they bought the generator because they were without power for like a week, maybe 10 days.
Sure. Oh,
And
that's a long time, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because tornado. But with that, they were able to run their fridge and like one other appliance. And so they were worried about their food spoiling, and that was about it. But it was able to tide them over. And after that, they installed something attached to their the actual house power.
Yeah,
so
I was seeing some of that last night.
Yeah, so the generator can actually hook up to the house in general. It's still if they run too much, it won't work. But they don't have to worry about is the generator here? Is the generator here? And moving it around to where they need it to be. They just hook it up into that line, and I think they've got a switch to where they flip over from grid power to the generator power. But you can only be so prepared. If you do the basic stuff, making sure your stuff's charged up, make sure you've got we laugh about the milk sandwiches, but we did we did a Walmart delivery today, so just to tide us over with some basics. Part of it was milk and bread, but some of it was just other random things that we were going to buy anyway. We just made sure to buy it a day early or a couple days early so that it would actually get here.
So the answer is yes, I am the only one that has people in my house worried about things. It's not just my house. Like my brother-in-law will get worried about it, but nobody will do it. Maybe I'm just uber practical that way. I'm like, if something pops in my mind that makes me worried, I will go take care of that thing. I will make sure that I can have some heat or whatever. It's like, whatever. It'll probably be perfectly fine. You just buckle up and don't go out for half a day or something. And it's whatever for where we are in the world. But that is not the question of the week. That's just the question of the storm. The question of the week is, if you could be a cartoon character for 1 week, who would you be?
Ooh. I'm going to have to go with Ed from Fullmetal Alchemist. Edward.
I thought you were going for Ed, and Eddie.
No, thank you. But I mean, just think, in 1 week, how much you could get accomplished if you had his powers. Edward's powers, you could do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Like he did?
He did all kinds of stuff.
He
really did. No. I'm not going to make his big mess up right at the beginning. Definitely not.
Solo leveling, man. Jin-woo.
Oh, okay.
That's of all the I don't even remember the name of the character from Shangri-La, but that's really a VR video game. But I would love that's how I'd love VR to be. Like, you're watching anime as if he is a character in the show, right? But with Jin-woo, it's very much that's the world. There's some powers. His is definitely different, and I think that would be a blast.
Yeah,
man, it's so hard because there's so many cool. I was thinking of like Afro Samurai, man, Beavis and Butthead, just to sit on a couch for a week and just laugh at music videos, because there are no repercussions in that cartoon at all. So then you can go always Looney Tunes. Okay, let's limit it to that.
Okay.
So if you were going to be a Looney Tunes character, Joe, which one would your wife want to marry?
That is a great question. I don't know. I haven't had that kind of discussion with my wife.
This will make a complete sense to you when I say it. I would be the Tasmanian devil, and she would be the Tasmanian she-devil. End of story. Those two were chaotic, neutral all day long, and had blasts with each other, but tore everything else up. And then at our wedding, we actually had found, because we weren't going to do alcohol or anything like that, but she just thought that this would be a cool thing to have, and it is. We have she loves Marvin the Martian, and there is a female version as well. You know, they did love interest for all their main characters throughout the different shows, and so we have these. I don't think they're stainless steel. I think they look very nice metal Stein glasses that are champagne flutes that are Marvin the Martian and whatever the female Martian's name is, Marvetta. I don't know. So really cool. Yeah, Kelsey says I never even thought about it. Well, the things that real relationships go through do not involve thinking about what characters you'd be on Looney Tunes. But my wife and I have had a lot of time to think about characters. Do we have any responses?
Well, of
from
course.
Bob's.
From Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob. And for the question of the week, if you could be any cartoon character for a week, I don't really watch cartoons, so it's gonna be anime. I would choose
Okay.
Ash Ketchum from the Pokemon anime. If I could go to the Pokemon world and be Ash Ketchum. If not, I would choose Rayquaza as long as I'm outside so I don't break out of the house by flying and stuff. Brought to you by Bob.
Bob.
Man, could you imagine if he turned into Rayquaza, how much of an issue that would be around the world? Like, there's a giant dragon suddenly in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. One of those viral stories this past week on social medias and whatever, and I didn't see. My wife told me about it, and we figure it's one of those just whatever stories. But supposedly, you know how the stories go. Scientists or miners, something they're drilling. Supposedly, they found like a proof of dragons or something, and I'm like, dude, that's the one movie. Would you live and die in? Rain of Fire. If the world's going to end, let me see dragons. I will die happy. I do not care that it became a post-apocalyptic ash-filled wasteland. You had dragons, dude. That's way better than we're dying today. I'm just saying.
And it's definitely a different side of Matthew McConaughey in that movie.
One of my favorites of his. It's top-notch film in my book.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is indeed. All right, well, should we roll some dice?
Oh, that's it? No random kid finally calling in and proving he's really the number one fan and not Bob's? All right.
Nope. All right, number 1 or number 4?
You pick.
Okay.
What are you nerding out about?
All righty then, going right in order. So we're going to play the anime game. Here you got Dune Geo Crawler Co-Arl. So that one is going to be like kind of a knockoff on Dune, where there's weird cats and some adult material, but you read it anyway.
I'm spot on. Yeah, so as part of Christmas, I got some gift cards for Amazon, and I used those to polish off the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. So I've got all the books, and I am done with all the books now. And yeah, good stuff. So when I had nerded out about it before, I had only consumed the first 2 books out of the 7 that are out right now. The 8th is coming out later this year. But yeah, no, I flew through the other 5, and it is quite the ride. Quite the ride indeed. Like I said before, it starts off kind of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, with a huge event happening that's gonna, basically destroy the world. It doesn't actually destroy the world, but it effectively it becomes a post-apocalyptic world overnight. And unlike Hitchhiker's Guide, where they got to get out of the way or be destroyed, and you can't really move a planet. So, and then it's combine that with Hunger Games and throw it into any video game that has a dungeon in it. And yeah, so good. And I've heard that it's supposed to end up being 10 books total. He said that might change, but right now Matt Dinniman said that that's his plan, is 10 books. So theoretically 3 more books are coming, which we'll see. He'll have to either Carl's going to have to get out of the dungeon, or he's going to have to start covering a lot more floors in these books, because it's supposed well, the dungeon is supposed to be 18 floors.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember where they left off, but I want to say they're on floor 10 now after 7 books. And so
Gotcha.
They've got like 10 or 11, so on floor 10, so they got like eight floors to cover in
3 books.
In 3 books, assuming that they go through all of the floors, because it might end prematurely. Who knows? I don't know. I assume Dinniman knows.
That'd be horribly funny that he just gets to book 10 and kills Carl, and that's it. He's like on floor 13 and he just dies.
Yeah. You never know with this, because it's pretty brutal. There are characters that I'm like, I wonder how far they'll make it, and then it's like, nope, bye, peace out. And so it's just like, it's pretty brutal. I've never read Game of Thrones, but it kind of gives me those same vibes that very few people have plot armor. And yeah, well, because they started off with millions of people that entered the dungeon, and at this point they're down to I think it's like 30 or 40,000 people that are left out of the millions that initially went in. And so yeah, it is quite the ride. It is definitely not for kids. Not even close. And I've said it before. Some of our listeners might be familiar with Botched, because we're friends with the people over there. Phil has been on here quite a bit. If you like Botched, you're gonna like Dungeon Crawler Carl. And yeah, it's very similar humor style as Botched, which means it is definitely not safe for kids. but
we had him on Parenting in the Digital Age with you. You were on the panel with Matt Dinniman.
Yep. And he said multiple times that he has no idea why he was on that panel. He said as much on Reddit. He's fairly active on Reddit, on his own subreddit, the Dungeon Crawler Carl subreddit.
Sure.
And he was like, yeah, I don't know why I'm there. And it kind of showed in the panel itself.
And I talked to Regina, and she thought it was a good idea to use him. And yeah, he was sent all the information ahead of time. He could have said no. He was fine, but it was you and the other panelists that did way better. And honestly, we would have done better in a smaller room anyway. But it was a cool moment. Joe's on stage with Matt Dinniman, so that's cool.
Yep. So, but yeah, no, his books they're a fun ride. So
cool. Everybody that I've ever heard picked up one of their books loves it. What the Dungeon Crawl. I just haven't gotten around to doing the audiobook. I might hear soon enough, because I've been doing enough long distance trips with the ambulance that I ran out of podcasts for a second. That was weird. It's like it went silent after the podcast. Like, what's wrong? Did I lose signal, whatever? And I tapped, the little app. I went, oh, it's empty. I gotta go listen to music now.
Well, and I think that they're gonna be redoing the audio books with a lot more voice actors for each of the different characters, and think like instead primarily one person narrating it, they're gonna do a full on
like
crew,
an audio drama type of deal.
Exactly. Yeah. So more like a theatrical production, but in audio form.
They did that with some of the Doctor Who books, and that was really good. They took the crew from the current TV series at the time, and had them do their own characters, but they were reading the books, and it was fun. It can be really cool that way.
Well, and I haven't looked into some of the side things, because there are some side adventures and side stories that are I believe in universe. So I haven't. Maybe I'll look into those and see if I feel like they're worth reading or listening to. I think there's a graphic novel. He's cast a pretty wide net with some of the extra stuff that he's been doing with it. So I'll have to look and see.
Would you rather, as a fan of the books, have an anime / animation based off of it, or a live action movie or TV series, whatever?
Definitely animation. I think that it could portray it a lot better, because in order to do it well live action, they would have to have a really big CGI budget, and I don't have faith in them pulling that off.
Or they get the cinematographer from the episode of Community where they did the paintball pillow forts, and they just do the whole thing that way. Because that was an epic episode. It was so good.
Well, wasn't that the brothers who were part of Marvel? What were their names?
Yes, it was. I forget their names too now, but yeah. Nope, that's Matrix. Yeah, I don't remember. I believe you're correct. That's who directed that. Mine is a little just one.
The Russos.
Yeah, Russo brothers. I did watch, you talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think you might enjoy the new Running Man. I watched it on whatever streaming service it's on right now. I forget. I have most of them in some package or another, right? But it was light. It's sweary. That's about it. Violent, but it very much is a dude trying to survive in the world like it's a dungeon. I mean, without it being a dungeon, right? It's just a real world, but it was fun. It was interesting. But my nerding out about is finally getting back to the theaters to see Screen Unseen, which everybody knows I love the surprise of the film, except this time I knew what it was, because for the first time ever, they did a IMAX 3D Screen Unseen. So I Googled that real quick, and it's the new movie coming out Friday called Mercy with Chris Pratt. And I will say it's a mediocre film. It's not really well written, but what I nerded out about was the technology they used. Sitting in IMAX 3D, it felt really cool with the way they do kind of phone screens out and things are floating, and it was nifty. It was interesting. They went a little too far with some of it with that was a little gimmicky, but for the most part, it was really cool. And the IMAX sound, they use that to a good effect there. Just overall, didn't care for the movie itself, but I was like, this is fun. I haven't just gone to the movies and had fun in a while. And you throw up, look at this screen coming out at me, and look at this, and it's a really well done 3D. Enjoyed that. And either right before or right after that, no, it was the night before, Sunday night, we went, I was like, man, I really could go for some sushi and noodles and whatnot. And we went to our regular place, which is hibachi. So my wife loves hibachi, and I like it too, but she really loves it. But I was going to get, I don't know, $30 sushi plate. They'll whatever, $20, $30, sushi plate, or maybe a couple rolls and some udon soup, right, with the noodles and whatnot, and then maybe some stir-fried vegetables from the hibachi. And she was going to get her regular order. But we walk in, it's a whole new lobby, and they added an all-you-can-eat sushi train there.
Oh.
And I was like, oh.
And you're like, and that?
This is the only time we're going to do it, unless I'm with my son or something else, right? Because traditionally, especially at Camp High, where we go at the mall up there, ordering on real hibachi is fantastic. Hibachi from the kitchen is not fantastic. It's just not the same. They don't cook it the same. It doesn't have the same flavors. I don't know what it is, but it's definitively different. And they actually branched out to including bulgogi now, which is a Korean barbecue dish. And so we're like, we'll try one of those. And I liked it. It's pretty decent. Her teriyaki chicken was not great. The fried rice, it didn't even look like fried rice from Hibachi. It's just not good. But I ate some good sushi, man. So we had another place in town that did the sushi, all you can eat sushi. It's not a train, that'd be cool, but just conveyor belt, right? And they bring it around. And it's mediocre sushi there, but I love the sushi at Kampai and the sushi chefs that are there and their rolls. And you can ask, it's kind of like, I don't know, have you ever been to like CC's Pizza, Joe?
Yeah.
So you're maybe, there's a lot of people who maybe don't know, but it's basically an economy, take your cheap butt there. I ate there plenty of times on the ambulance because it's all I could afford, but it's an all you can eat buffet of pizza for a very low price. But there you can say, hey, would you make XYZ pizza? And they'll say yes, and they'll give you a number and you put it on your table. They come out, offer you the first few slices, walk around the room, and they put it on the buffet. So you can order something that's not on the buffet and you'll get it. Same here. They're like, oh, you can order sushi rolls, and they'll bring you a few pieces and they'll put it on the I was like, oh, I didn't, because they had so many. The chef was just having fun. He's like, oh, this is my favorite, and he put it on. He'd come over, and we happened to sit right next to where he's loading in the thing. So he talked to us about what he's putting on the thing, and I had so much fun. I like doing a little happy dance. I was like, this is so good. So yeah,
it's been probably like 4 years since I've had all you can eat sushi, and I went to Nori Nori down in Atlanta.
When you come back here, which would be July for Southern Fried,
sounds about right.
We can go, because right here I think it's like $30 a person. We can go up. That'd be a good dinner for us to go up and just have fun with it. Yeah, we can do that, because ATL Comic Con's not doing ATL this year.
Yeah, well, because
saw that from Bobby.
Well, from what I heard, the conflict is because of soccer. There's the World Cup, and so everything's booked up that they
that's
normally
the
have
running
done.
theory. I trust Bobby, because Bobby's really in touch with both worlds, that nerdy con world and the soccer world, football, for those of you who are couth, not uncouth like Joe.
Oh no, I'll be there sooner than Southern Fried. I'll be there for Stellar Fest in April.
Right. Stellar Fest is before Southern Fried, so all right,
yeah,
even better. Because we definitely have some earlier nights. It's easier to flow there. Random kid, what are you nerding out about? Kelsey, Devo, what are y'all nerding out about? You're not just here to hear our cool stuff. Put your stuff in the chat. But while you do, let's roll some dice. I'm also 8 episodes into One Punch Man, and I find it very fun.
All right, well, we got a 5, so I guess we're gonna go with
Time for a commercial break.
All right, I got this tuned up. Let's see if this works. Oh, it did right off the bat. Courtesy of Devo's site, we are back to having music for our commercial break. So hey, you want to support the show like Devo does? Go to patreon.com/wise_n_nerdy. And there's usually a thing that pops up over my head at this time, but Joe's jamming to the music. I don't know. Tyra Burton's in the house. Tyra is nerding out about going to London. Her husband's company is sending her and her husband to London for some stuff. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She gets excited about actual vacations, but this one is way more exciting because you're on somebody else's ticket there. So it's awesome. I don't know how much she wants me to say or not say, but I'll just leave it at that. Congrats. Another one. Kelsey says anime. The one Joe and I are watching with Rentaro. The flower blooms with diversity or something like that.
The flower blooms with dignity.
I like her title better. Hey, and here we've got some Asian hip hop beats going on. Man mashed right up. So yeah, and you can turn in your voice like Bob's does, and brought to you by Bob's over at wiseandnerdy.com/calldad, which the Patreon is also wiseandnerdy.com/allowance, making it easy for you. And everything else is found on Linktree/wise_and_nerdy. Let's just listen to this for a second. Thanking Devo and her nightly devotions. Oh, your face dropped.
Just like the beat.
I dig it. See, that's where I really want to start working on my builds. Is I realize I need either I need to make some kind of just repetitive 3 or 4 note loop, and then start going and putting in beats, taking the loop out, and then adding all the other layers. Is what I'm thinking.
There you go.
I haven't got there yet, but we have some business to handle. Oh,
Yeah,
we
we
got
do.
something else to play.
Real quick though, Random Kid said I mentioned Hightail last week, and apparently he's loving it. Just so you know, I did start a Let's Play series for Hightail over on Assorted Geekdom. The first episode dropped earlier this week, so I'm gonna be posting videos of my playthrough of Hightail. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
That is awesome. I did not listen to these, so I'm gonna try this, hoping that it's the stinger I'm thinking of. But we got some stingers to play.
Brought to you by Podderation, podcast for nerds.
There we go. There we go. So I might play another one of those randomly at the end of the show. But Podderation, we're happy to be a part of the pod family there, and looking forward to doing some great things with them this year. What's the next question of the week?
All right. So for February 12th, the question of the week is Batman with prep time versus anyone else. Do you buy the meme, or is it massively overblown? So for those that don't know what the meme is, it's that if Batman has enough prep time, he can beat anyone. Period. That's the meme.
I can't. Nope, wrong shoulder. Trying to get to tattoo. It's hard to get to my tattoos with my jersey, but hey, we'll do that. Where do you think I'm going to land, sir? We'll go with that. My Batman ring. So all right. I'll brace myself for the salt that you all are going to try to bring to the table.
All right. So last week, for the Parliament of Papas, we talked about the brother who let his teenage kids loot his brother's house.
Yes, we did.
Devo's commenting on that.
All right.
So I'm listening to the Transformative Parenting meets Fandom, and I've gotten to the Am I the Butt Face? I have to tell you, the brother is not the butt face. The brother that lets his brother or his children loot his brother's house is not the butt face.
Okay.
I love the part where he has to put the dog back in the house. But I'll tell you, my personal opinion is, Charles, you would say that they were trying to protect his brother from his dog eating his face off. So, I'm there with you. But there's nothing I hate worse.
Yeah.
And I say hate, but I loathe, how about that, than
good word.
people who take the attitude of, well, it's just the or this or that. It's a terrible attitude. So because if it was just then why would they have it around? Why would they be displaying it? So yes, he's not the butt face. I love that one. That's great. So now I'm going to listen to hear what you guys say. And if you disagree with me, I don't care. He's not the butt face.
I love that, because that's such a great delayed response. We already know how the rest of the show played out. We know where we landed, but he stopped at the point of the story to call in his verdict to then see what we got. That's some good entertainment, Devo. Obviously, we landed all on the same page there.
Yep.
I love that Random Kid is playing Hightail after you recommended it last week. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Today, I just got an alert from Xbox. It's like, one of the games on your list is on sale. I don't remember what games are on my list on Xbox for wish list. 2 games, apparently. One is Borderlands 4, which I already own, but I leave it on there so I can see if they put the expansion packs on sale. So
Okay.
the other was Cult of the Lamb, which I was playing free on my phone, but the controls are very Xboxy. So I decided $12 right now. $12 and some change. You can buy Cult of the Lamb on Xbox and play it on a big screen with the control. So yeah, that's going to be my jam for the next couple of months.
Charles is just setting up cults on every service that'll let him.
You know, I just this is the way.
My wife put in the chat that Malachi is playing Hightail too. Yeah, my oldest, he bought the big boy version of Hightail. So there's different tiers, and right now the only difference is cosmetics and the different tiers. So I bought the cheap one, the $20 version. He bought the like $70 one.
Okay.
And so they've announced, or they've said that they're going to add more and more cosmetics to those higher tiers. But once the game fully releases, no more. That you can't. Those are going to be exclusive to those that bought it during this beta, the early access.
Not true, but it's nice to say. Every company, after a certain amount of time, 5 years, 8 years, they will release the exclusives because people want them and they'll pay for them. But they usually try to wait long enough to where people won't burn the servers down. And that's been my experience in games.
We'll see.
You know?
We shall see.
You know what? Go put this on your list of questions to ask for questions of the week. I don't know how to phrase it, so you'll figure it out. But do you like that games do cosmetic only stuff, or would you rather game changing tools? Because I didn't pre-order Borderlands this time, partially because I knew it'd go on sale, and my son bought it for my birthday, so it's free for me, so that's cool. But all the pre-order stuff now is cosmetics, and I just don't care enough about that.
I've got my opinions on that, but if we're going to discuss it another time, I will save those for then.
Sounds good.
So, but yeah.
Roll that tide.
All right. So last week you talked about Tron Ares, and Devo is apparently
all right. We got another
talking about that.
Charles, something you were talking about Tron made me think of a program in the mid-90s. It was on Saturday morning cartoons called Reboot.
Yep.
And I used to haul my 25-ish self out of bed in the morning and watch it. It's old, 3D digital animation. It's not the new polished stuff. When I watch it, I think, oh my God, how many days did it take to render that stuff? It's really interesting looking back at that and comparing it to what we do today. But yeah, I really thought it was great. I kind of tried to get my son to watch it. He wasn't really into it. But it's really kind of neat. But it has, that whole real world, imaginary computer world thing going on that Tron does. And I'm sure there was some borrowing of ideas there, right? But
never. Yeah, I remember Reboots. Looking at it now, it's really janky. It's like it feels like the kind of 3D rendering we got in games when games were still on CD-ROM and not necessarily DVDs. Definitely not what we have today. But yeah, no, at the time it was fantastic. And it makes me think, when you said rendering time, I watched a kid show with my kids called Roly Poly Oly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that one, I'm like, every time I watched it, I was like, how long did it take for them to render this thing? Because it was cutting edge at the time. 3D is a little bit a step ahead of Reboot, but not what we have today. And definitely not as efficient or cost effective as we had today. So there's a reason why I didn't get a ton of seasons, I imagine. But I think that was Nickelodeon or Disney PBS. I think who did that.
Nickelodeon, but then regardless, yeah.
Yeah. So all right, what else? What else we got?
All right, we got a few more from Devo. So let's see. This is called Devo and 1G in it, not a joke.
All right, so I'm going to foretell the future right now. At the end of this speak pipe, maybe even during it, Charles, you're going to say, "I hate you." So I'm walking the dogs tonight.
Oh, I hate you.
And they are installing fiber in my neighborhood.
I really hate you. Oh,
this
my
is
God.
Actually the second fiber. And they actually came. And $50, 1 gig fiber internet. I already have 1 gig fiber internet for $50. So before I had my 1 gig fiber internet, I had this crappy, well, I won't say crappy, it was good enough. 20 megabits wireless is all I had, but it was better than anything else I could possibly get. And now I'm going to have not one, but two 1 gig fiber internet lines. Don't know if I'll keep them both, but I'll have them for a while.
And for 50, that's cheaper than they offer here.
I'm okay. I'm getting there.
Because
Jealousy is a blood pressure raiser there. I actually had 1 gig fiber here. I chose to give it up because it was Comcast. I don't have a huge problem with Comcast, but it was an issue with prices going up, with outages. I swapped over to T-Mobile, which is cellular, and honestly, it's done me. And you can tell even in the show, it's done me so much better in quality than I had before. But I am jealous because $50 is it per line? So is it $100? So you have 2 lines? Why do you have 2 lines? You don't need 2 lines, and it's not like it's 2 gigs because you. Oh, congrats, John! I love you. That's so good.
I wonder if he's got a redundancy switch set up at his house so that if one goes out, then he won't lose data
He's
integrity.
In misery. There is no reason to have redundancy for anything there because nobody cares about that state. So I don't understand why he gets the good stuff.
Yeah, because even here, like we have the 1 gig, but it's $68 here. We don't have it for 50.
Yeah, my 1 gig here was $110 a month.
And
we had outages often enough, and we had slowdowns often enough that I was having to reboot the router. I kind of made it a habit to reboot the router before the show, even wired from the house out here. There were some instabilities, but yeah. Congrats on. Come on,
congrats! Totally not jealous. Yeah. All right. We've got 2 more from Diva, but we'll only play one during this segment because the other one says it's a joke. Okay. But this one is about Demon Slayer, apparently.
Do it.
So I started watching Demon Slayer. I'm not so sure about it yet. I'm only, I don't know, halfway, maybe 3/4 way through the first season. When they introduced that third Demon Slayer with the blonde-haired screaming all the time about girls, that about did me in. I was about done.
Fair.
But I pushed through. It got better. He's still obnoxious. You're going to have to tell me, Charles, is it going to get better? Because I'm kind of holding on by a thread. Now, Delicious in Dungeon, Mashal, those are fantastic. Those are good stuff. It's good and it's bad. Trying to figure it out, really. What are your thoughts? Give me some recommendations.
Yeah,
so words of encouragement.
But the encouragement, okay, I get you. When they bring in Zenitsu, who I called Yellow Boy for the longest time, right? I was so mad and irritated by him, could not remember his name. Kurt
overboard. Hated him. When Kurt tried Demon Slayer, he hated Zenitsu.
Kurt hates a lot of things.
That's true.
But he couldn't. And that's fair. That is a population, right? There's people that I tell you, Devo, I did. Same as you. I struggled with I don't know if I'm gonna keep watching this. But the animation style, the demon stories of redemption, they don't redeem them. There's still consequences for actions. They're actively dying, but you get to find out what went on in their lives. The variety of demons. Yes, keep pushing through. Now, when I said, are you really halfway through? Because there's 26 episodes in season 1. All the other ones are like 8, 7, 10, shorter ones. But this first one was 26 episodes. So you'll get to a point where you feel like the show's over. That's the halfway mark. You'll feel like the season's over, and now you get a whole nother second storyline essentially on there.
Yeah,
dude. I know it sounds like I'm trying to talk about One Piece. Just give it 100 episodes. You'll be fine. Push through till you get to the Spider family. That's all I'll say. Push through. You actually, Joe, do you think if he's just getting to Zenitsu now, I don't think they've done the Drum House yet.
Zenitsu's there. I know he's there after the drum. He's at the Drum House.
Yeah, I think he's.
So I think that's. I think it's pretty possible. Well, and to be completely frank, Zenitsu becomes less annoying as the seasons go on.
Yes, 110%. They probably had feedback from their audiences, honestly.
Probably,
on
and
that, 'cause
they tone
really
him
go-
down.
They make him chase Nezuko around, lovesick, all this. They really played into that trope for a hot second, but somewhere along the line, somebody, either the audience pushed back or some producer went, "No, that's not what we're going to do," and they change it, and you start seeing a better. Still, his arc is the Zenitsu we know is scared and does not know how to use his powers at all, but he has nothing else to do in life but tag along with these guys. And you build off of that. But when you finally get to that part where, oh, okay, he is just scared and sad all the time, then it you're right, Joe. It tones out to the point that you actually miss him in later episodes, because they do this arc with him where he's not involved for a hot second, and then
There's an entire
broken.
season where he's not there.
Yeah, because he's off trying to figure things out or whatever, and he's there at the beginning because he gets that letter that we never get to see.
Oh
and
yeah,
it breaks
during
him.
the training montage season.
Yes, yeah, that Swordsmith village, right?
No, it's the next one. It's the Hashira training arc.
Okay, but I will say, no matter what, if you never like Zenitsu, which is fine, I don't care for him that much. Lean on my boy. Inosuke will always get you through, always. And then just watch it for the rest of the stuff, because when Mr. Rengoku, it's worth it. It's worth it. So that's the hope I can give you, Devo.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm still so mad at Crunchyroll. I'm so mad you didn't go to the theaters, because I want you to hear this song so much that you cannot listen to the song till you watch the newest movie, because it gives away a huge moment in the movie and really just makes it so much heavier by listening to it. The song's not official.
I wish I had seen
us
it in the
wrote
theater,
It's great.
but
Well, now I hope you learned your lesson, sir. 'Cause if I have to on the next one, I'll take Zoe. We'll drive up to Chattanooga and drag your butt. 'Cause I'm not going through this again where Crunchyroll goes, yeah, we might not Crunchyroll, I'm sorry, Ufotto says, yeah, we might not put it out for a little bit for the regular public.
for
to see.
streaming, yeah. Jerk face.
Well, we didn't know it was coming, but now we do.
Yep. All right, let's roll some dice.
I need Jebby to be Inosuke and Bob to be Zenitsu this year for Dragon Con.
All right, a 2 or a 6.
Just rip the Band-Aid.
All right.
Dad jokes are like Mojo Jojo. They're bad.
All right, let's see what Devo's got for us.
Mojo Jojo is misunderstood.
So I was going through some old stuff the other day, and I found this old notebook here. It even says on it, March 13th, 1963 was my mother's. It says age 21 years old. Anyway, just miscellaneous things that she wrote. A lot of it's like copy, but I get to a page and oh my, I have to read this to you. If all the cars in the United States were pink, what would you have? A pink coronation. Yeah, this is good stuff, right? What's worser, and that is worser, is actually written. What is worser than a giraffe with a sore throat? A centipede with aching feet. Oh man, this is just comedy gold, isn't it? Just great. Well, I have more. I'll save them for next week.
I love delaying the torture. It's one of my favorite parts of this show. Always. Pink. Well, Devo, at least we know it's not your fault you're the way you are. It's how you were raised. So now we understand a little bit more.
Did you hear about the full run through and how his wife became a bodybuilder last year?
She made a baby?
Yep. Took 40 weeks.
Roll dice. Just... Hot tamale.
All right, number 3.
How do I?
Live without you. All right. Oh, I think this is one of the random ones, but I'm gonna let you start on this one, because honestly, you should be a little bit more ahead of the game right now since you're younger.
Hopefully.
How, Daddy? How do I plan for retirement?
I think the first thing you got to do is, if your company has any kind of matching for 401k, fully do whatever they're going to be putting into it. So I think if I think with mine, and I haven't looked at it in a long time, I think if I put in 5% of my paycheck, my company will match 4%. Like they'll put another 4% in. So I'm getting 4% for free. And I think that's relatively standard for larger corporations. And so do that, and definitely start as early as you can, because the longer you have for that interest to compound,
Yep.
the higher it's going to be in the end. Because the big part of retirement is that compounding interest building up over time. Just like with your, like any type of loan or like your mortgage, you're going to be paying so much in just interest versus what you actually borrowed, and it's because of that's just how interest works. I know this is paraphrasing, but when I was a teenager, I heard a quote that was basically, those who understand interest earn it, and those who don't understand interest spend it. Something to that effect.
It's a lie. But
What's
it
a
works
lie?
for now? All of the way our banking systems are set up, and the annuitizations and the interest, it's such a mess. I don't want to get into, because on the surface, I fully agree. Work the system that we have, and I tried that with my kids when they both got decent jobs. I took them to Stash, which is an app, Stash, Stash. I like it over Robinhood, because Robinhood is more active in microtransactions and tradings, and if you remember a year or two ago now, where GameStop stock got run way up and then got
memed up.
That was through Robinhood.
Right? Yeah, it was so much so that Robinhood,
even though put stuff in place now,
they actually, Robinhood actually made it so that people couldn't trade GameStop for a little while there.
Of trouble for that. It was.
They did.
But Stash is really a hedge fund kind of deal where you can do a couple different things. And what I use it for is I make sure to put $5 a week, so it's roughly $20 a month, into stocks that I then go and pick. And you can buy one. So a hedge fund, this is oversimplification. Please feel free, as an accountant daddy out there.
Disclaimer, financial
we're not
advice.
Professionals. Exactly. But if you are a professional daddy out there in any of these categories we talk about, by all means, give us a speak pipe. Shoot us an email, show at wnnShow@gmail.com. And let us know in easy to understand terms how it works. So while it's not necessarily, the idea is on Stash, I want to put $5 in, because it's what I can really afford to put in for stocks right now. And I'm going to use that $5 to buy Netflix. Well, Netflix stock price, I'm looking this up because I don't remember.
You can buy Netflix for just $5?
Yeah, have you seen the crap they made for Christmas? Of course you can. No, but no, you can't. Even one share is, I don't know, like $100. But because it's put in with a whole bunch of others, I own a fraction of a stock. Now I've actually got to a certain point where I own full on shares in certain companies, NVIDIA being one, and I bet on them first, and now before the AI boom. Let me tell you, they're the ones that are carrying me forward right now. But I just do that. I buy pieces of stocks and I spread it out, and I use some of the advice, right? But it's $20 a month. So it takes a while. I think I've put in, by my stats, I've put in like 3,000 over the last few years. And I have almost $7,000 in my account. Not a ton of money, but it's working for me, right? You can also do IRAs and retirement. So I do $20 a month in long term, and it's very functional, right? It's not a, oh, you get to go pick like stocks. It's you pick long term, short term, aggressive growth. You pick categories, and that's what you run with. And so I picked long term growth to the point where I put another $20 a month. I'll pick aggressive growth, and they handle all of that. So I try to set that up for my kids because it's like, hey, at $5, even on $5 a month, you can start rebuilding your future. They didn't stick with it, and that's okay. I agree with Joe. If you're at a company that does it, match it. To me, I would say inside the company, only do what it takes to get them to match, because you should also have a different account for yourself. That could be there's a couple different ones. Please consult a professional before you run on this.
Yep.
These are just ideas and answers. But
well, because there's some that it's specifically for retirement, and if you touch it early, there's a penalty to pull it out. Whereas there's others where you can put into it and take out without that type of penalty. And so I haven't looked into a lot of the nitty gritty
on now. There's some you pay taxes on later when you pull it out. So yes, yeah. But also
it's very convoluted. So consult a professional.
You know, Joe, I don't know if you remember, but I always talk about the dirty COVID money at Dragon Con. Like, if you got that COVID money, throw it in the bin. But that's literally what I do. If I get cash for something, I have a bin in my house that is, we have a picture of the Gaverny Gardens on it. It's kind of like our dream fund. You know, throughout the ages, people have had those water jugs, and you put your money in, and you go to Disneyland when it gets full, those kind of things. So it's just kind of that. I just put my cash into a little bucket that's hidden that says, I'm not going to touch this. And it's going to go towards a trip to the gardens outside of Paris, basically, one day. I also have a secret squirrel account. I set this up way back. ING, I don't even think that was the first one, but there was a bank that came online in the early days of online banking. And my wife and I got a savings account because they were paying like 6% return in the year. It was huge comparative to a regular bank. Ultimately, they got bought out, and ultimately it slowed down the percentage, as you will.
Well, there's a reason why they got bought out, I'm sure.
Well, and there's markets, and it's now Capital One 360 owns it. But for every month for a decade, I don't know, for long, it got accidentally cut off at some point. I don't remember what happened, and I discovered it cut off for a few months. I think I had to change my bank account or something, and just didn't reattach it. But for the most part, over a decade, I just been putting $20 into there in the secret squirrel account, and it was a few years ago that I even revealed it to my wife. Like, yeah, I've been saving money, and now basically we have this much money to go on a trip. And at the time, we could have taken the trip, but we weren't going to get passports in time. And we've been putting off getting passports. Just, I don't know why we just have. And now the world's more expensive, so I'm going to have to save up some more. But yes, my personal plan is to be independently wealthy. So I'm working my karmic butt off on attracting that money. Georgia Lottery can be, but in essence, many avenues, because you don't want to work forever. I'm only 48. I don't want to work now. I've been saying working's for the poors. I want to be rich, man. I'm tired of working.
I've got a friend. He was talking a little bit to me about his long-term goals financially, and him and his family. So his dad, and I think a couple of his brothers. They have a pest control business here. Okay. And so they started a franchise. And so I asked him, was like, what is the goal with that? And so he was like, the goal is eventually to sell it. We're building up the franchise, and then we're gonna sell it, because the franchise in and of itself isn't worth a whole lot. It's the client list that's worth a bunch.
Yep.
And so what they're doing is, while they're building the business, is they're also looking at commercial real estate that they can buy different places to rent out for offices and stuff like that. And so he's diversifying into real estate, and I think they still own their house from before they moved here. I think they lived in Idaho, and they're renting it out. And so they're like, we don't, basically he made it sound like they don't sell any of when they buy a new place, they don't sell it, they rent it out, and then they buy a new place when they move.
And it just takes planning. It takes
Mhm.
sacrifice and planning. And when I say sacrifice, I mean not what I did. I live paycheck to paycheck, meaning I spent more money than I had in most cases. But right now, I didn't start my retirement fund 5-6 years ago, right? So in my early 40s. You really do want to start something like a stash, something that just takes, it's an app, right? Everybody does apps nowadays. It's easy. So you just set it up. It takes it out of your bank account, make it affordable, like $20 a month. So no matter how my money went up and down, I never touched that $20 because at the end of the day, $20 was not going to make a difference in my putting food on the table or not, right now. Because if you're at that point, here's the reality, in my opinion. If you're at the point that $20 means putting food on the table tonight or not, I hope you have a support system around you. Like we have family that would feed us, type of deal. We have food banks in our communities we could go to, that kind of deal. So obviously you got bigger problems. You don't plan for retirement if you're trying to live.
Yeah.
But I was not trying to live. I was playing.
Yeah. If you're in survival mode, retirement isn't the thing you should be worrying about at that point.
Yeah. But I thought I had another one, but essentially, Douglas. Okay, so you talking about your buddy Hugh Morrison, black shirt, bald head Hugh. He and his brother run their family company, small little thread company. In and of itself, it is not super valuable. Even their machines, because they do a bunch of they're one of the only companies in the nation that does certain types of stuff because they have the old machines that do it. And he's got the knack, so he knows how to keep those machines running. I was talking to him this last time he was here. The machines might not even be worth all that much. It's the client list, like you said. It's the client list that's there. That's his retirement. I'm sure he's saved up. I'm sure he's put stuff away. He owns a condo, so when he does retire, now when he retires, he's going to sell it. He's going to move down here with us. But he'll get money from the condo, whatever. But it's the business. When they sell the business, they're both going to be fine for the rest of their lives. But Douglas works for the government. He got in about 22 years ago, somewhere in there. And so immediately, at first, he had to take his paycheck and live off of it. He's making $19,000 a year. And even 20 years ago, that was not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But because it's the government and, they have these grades and blah, blah, blahs and promotions, whatever, he's now making just over $110,000, $120,000 a year. He lives off of like 40 to 50. And he has maxed out all the matching they'll do because they have actually 2 or 3 different retirement accounts he can do and something else. And he's maxed it out to where, quite honestly, like I play with you. I play like I do with you, the bad guess on anime. I play with him. Like, okay, where's the retirement at now? And I guess, and I'm usually close. He could, if the government would let him, that's a whole different story. They keep bumping that you can't retire. He could leave right now and keep a lot of his retirement, but he won't get a bunch of other benefits that if he just they just keep moving that marker down. Anyway, notwithstanding, if he retired right now, he wouldn't have to work for the rest of his life. And he's
that's 45, how retirement usually works.
46. Dude, have you been to Walmart? Have you seen the age of people in Waffle House?
Yeah.
People, so yes, you're right. If you plan correctly, that's how retirement is supposed to work. Exactly. Yeah. Most Americans don't, and it's
you know why Walmart hires old people, especially as their greeters, right? They had that scandal.
We did the bad dad.
No. This isn't a bad dad joke. They had that scandal where they were opening up life insurance. No, they were opening up life insurance policies on their employees.
Oh, I don't remember if I heard.
And so they would collect when their employees died. So they hire a bunch of old people as their greeters and whatnot, and then they take out life insurance policies on them. Man. And for some reason, that's allowed. That's legal.
If you sign off,
shady as all get out, but apparently legal.
I have no idea. I have a friend of mine whose husband passed away about a year ago, and she's lost. She's struggling right now. She's scrambling. She's, I think, over 60. I can't remember. exactly her age, but there was a lack of planning there because he got sick. I mean, the sickness took about 3 years to get him, but he got sick kind of suddenly, and then they stopped all the things they were doing that were bringing in lots of flow of money, and used a lot of that to pay for his health care and that for 3 years,
Yeah.
whatever. But she's stuck, and now she's having a hard time because she needs income and needs a job. So lack of planning, like anything in life, will get you wrecked. I've thought about that in the long run of like, well, if I weren't providing for my family, what would happen? They would figure it out. They would have to, but to the point of even investment properties, I think when my dad passes away, Amy and I are supposed to sell the house. That's my sister. We're supposed to sell the house. I don't think she's going to outlast him, but that's another story. But my wife and I were talking about not selling it. If I had to buy out my sister's part of it, depending on what the market shows, and use it as a rental or an Airbnb. I know the Airbnb thing has its own controversies going on right now, but Verbo. So I like the idea if it holds, if it doesn't get ruined in our society conceptually.
Yeah.
I like the idea of going, hey, here's a house that is very close to UGA. So you're big fans. You come in for all the big games, whatever. You can rent the house for a weekend, for a week. But I like that idea versus renting a month at a time. But it is income that's kind of passive. And that's honestly, that's the other way I plan for retirement. Is my goal is to set up passive income. And I've got a little bit rolling here. And when we become huge stars off this podcast, the royalties we get off the past episodes, that's all I need, man. It's like we're out. We're just retired on the beach somewhere and the money's still rolling in. So that's some good stuff. Do you, I don't know if you say offers it, but do you have retirement set up for your kids? Because sometimes you can do that when they're underage. Also, I know Georgia offers the path to college that you can invest in tax-free, that either they use it to go to college, or like in Oakland's case, we're going to start looking at, I think it's age 25, that if they don't go to college, they can actually cash it out.
So they can just pull from it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a trust fund, but specifically earmarked.
Plan, I want to say is what it's called. I don't know if it's just Georgia. I don't know. But yeah, kind of. Yeah. And of course the state, whoever, I don't know if it's federal. I don't know if it's a state. I just know it's like the Path to College is the official name of it. 660 plan. But I can donate $3,000 or $6,000 a year max and write that off 100% of my taxes. And then, it'll go towards either, but whoever holds it, they're making interest on it. Right. I think we get a little bit of the interest, but they get most of it. That's the whole hoo-ha to it.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Where are we? So that was an interesting one. I mean, you talk to Devo, he's never going to retire. He's just always going to woodwork and do other things.
All right. Well, we got a number 2.
Daddy, tell me a story.
And the other week you teased this story, so I'm calling it in.
You're calling in your chit. Okay, do it, lady. So I have a lot of Civil Air Patrol stories. First, I'll give you a brief introduction of what it is. It is, I don't remember when it's founded because I was not that nerd. I did not give a crap about the history of it. I went to this, when I first moved to Athens at 16 years old, that spring, we moved in like October. That spring, the local little airport that they still have did an air show. And my dad's like, hey, that sounds cool. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. And we went out to see cool airplanes and people doing stunts and things that air shows do, right? And while I was there, we noticed teenagers in full military uniforms doing military style things like crowd control and those kind of things for the show.
Is it kind of like ROTC, but for for the Air Force?
Air Force.
Okay.
Yep. Good summary on it. So we asked about it. They were starting a chapter right there in Athens, blah, blah, get information. That's how I met Douglas. And we did that for years. And it's search and rescue. So anytime there's an airplane crash, they use this on TV all the time, but it's real. a plane goes down in the woods somewhere, and then you see this line of people going out searching, whatever.
Yeah.
That's Civil Air Patrol a lot of times, plus civilians and other stuff. But that's supposedly the spike of it is Civil Air Patrol runs it, and blah blah blah. Never did any of that. We mostly learned some military things, and if you like with our OTC, if you actually officially do well in it, and you want to go on and have a career in the Air Force, it helps a lot, right? Especially if you get recommendations. But there's tests, there's all kinds of things, there's ranks you can get. I honestly don't remember what rank I achieved, because at the time I thought my dad went Navy. I really wanted to fly because it's one thing I really probably can't do because I'm 6'7" monster over here. There's not a lot of planes that'll handle me as a pilot, but I thought it's where anyway. Thought I was going to do. So we did do some learning exercises, and they're in Georgia, and I'm sure around the country, but obviously it was just in Georgia. There are lots of different chapters, bases, whatever, and some of them are literally they meet on military base. And we went down to, I want to say, Augusta, which so they have certain, for Civil Air Patrol, they have supply bases, and just like regular military, you're supposed to send in the forms, request these things, blah 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 blah. We did that. We never got anything we requested. We always requested stupid stuff too, like we wanted the refurbished 6-pack, I think is what they called it, where you can fit 3 people in the front, 3 people in the back of the cab, and then have all this troop carrier stuff and whatnot. What would we do to that? We don't know. We just wanted it. And so we didn't have adults guiding us. We thought they were adults. Our parents pretended like they were adults. They were 23 and 25 UGA students. Like that's
So
23-year-old
legally adults.
Legally, but they're college students messing around with teenagers. Like we raced cars on the airstrip.
It
was
astounds
dumb.
me how wide of a gulf there is in the maturity levels of college students, from uber mature to, are you sure you're an adult?
Yeah. And dude, that's where I think I got the nickname Dozer at first, because I bulldoze over everybody. I was a very angry monkey, and I was bigger than everybody else. Even the adults were like, it was almost TV sitcom hilarious. It's like, if you talk back to me, I just grab you by your shirt, pick you up. Like, you really, didn't actually do that, but it was there. Anyway, we were going to, I think, Augusta, which from Athens is 2.5 hours away. And we had radios, and we had enough people that I volunteered to take my car, which probably shouldn't have done. I mean, it was just not in good condition to make that driving back, but it did it. And one of the adults had their car, which is a little 2-door, so you could squeeze 2 or 3 small teenagers in the back seat, one in the front seat, and that was it. And I had a Datsun station wagon, so I could fit a little bit more people in there, and that'll come into play. And we had radios to talk to each other, and we were going to Augusta specifically for an official radio use class taught by some commander, blah, 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 blah. But this Civil Air Patrol was attached to an official Air Force military base down there, and they had their own section, and it was a supply base. So 2 things happened in this story. One was, as we were planning to leave, they're like, guys, grab everything you can grab, do what you can do. I've always been a mastermind, an evil mastermind, but a mastermind nonetheless. And so I started hatching. It's like, okay, no kidding. We had a big African-American guy in our group named Michael Jackson. And when he told us his name, we're like, really? Your mom named you that? I'm sorry, dude. You're going to get so much, not from us, but you're going to get so much grief in the world because of your name. He's a good guy, but you're obviously not him. It's weird. So Michael was going to be our distraction. And I was going to be the distraction. And then everybody else was going to grab everything they could. And so we start to leave.
So why are you grabbing everything again? Did I miss this, or?
Because we wanted it. Because we weren't getting supplies. We wanted what they had.
Okay.
I don't know because the college kids thought it was funny. I don't know because I was not the adult. I was the highly influenced 16-year-old who liked to rampage through stuff and get one over on people. Because I love chaos. So they use that. I don't know why we wanted everything we can get our hands on. So we leave.
So you guys are just acting like those teenage kids.
Oh,
You're
we're
gonna
not
take
there
the
yet.
dog and everything.
Yes, we're not there yet. So we go to leave for it. The college kid thought it was hilarious to leave me in the dust. Like he took off. So much so that he got out of radio range very fast. This is before GPS. This is barely the days of MapQuest where you could print out directions, which I had done, and I had Douglas as my navigator. We got a little lost trying to get there. Literally, State Patrol. We pulled over somewhere, and State Patrol helped us find where we're supposed to go, and this and that and the other. And I'm an angry person, period, at that point in life. But I'm very angry at this.
At that point in life, or just in general?
Oh, you didn't know me then, man. I get salty. We use the word salty here. I honestly, and you could probably tell a story. I don't remember if you've actually seen me truly angry, but no, it was like the world on fire angry then. Like I can make people laugh, but I was, don't mess with me. I'll run you over. And to the point that we got close enough, because as we getting close, I kept trying to radio. Whatever our call sign was to their call sign, whatever our call sign was to their call sign, whatever our call. So the story goes, because I'm on the side of the radio going, can't get anybody mad. No cell phones, right? None of that stuff. This is early 90s, I think. So we finally, the story goes, they're all in class, right? And we're late because we don't know where we're going. We got lost. They started class without us. And about the time this fancy aunt I'm talking about, they're hurt themselves, patting themselves on the shoulder. Look at me. I'm a military guy. I could wrestle you like nothing. Anyway, about the time all hooty tooty guy got up there and was giving all the rules of radio, and it goes click. He turns the radio on. You hear us calling the call sign, and then the college guys were in the class with the other two people. Their eyes went. They got real big, like, oh no, because we kept trying to raise them. And the guy was like, and he called back on the radio. I'm like, are you with Banks is one of the last names. I can't remember the other guy's last name. Are you with Banks and so? He's like, yes, sir. It's like, we're about to be there. And you tell them I'm going to beep them up on the radio. and he's like, don't use language like that. I went, beep you too. And I cut off the radio. And we get there, and he pulled the adult thing they tried to pull, where he met me out at the car and stood over my door before I could get out, trying to dress me down. I'm like, give me a second. And he's like, and he stepped back, and I came out of the car, and I kept coming out of the car, and I kept coming out of the car until now he's looking up at me. He goes, let's just go to class. Like, yeah, that's what I thought. And because those adults left us in the dust, and you want to get mad because I said a 4-letter swear word on your stupid radio, where I'm coming to the class to learn how to use in the first place, don't get me angry. You don't like me when I'm angry. So we do this class. I remember nothing about it. But I think part of it was because it was a supply base. Everybody was coming in for this class. Whoever's coming in, they had said there are surplus supplies. So you can, and they're anticipating, oh, you might get a shirt, Joe, and I might take some dress pants, and we might get a little, some paperwork for the base. They didn't know what was coming. They assigned, how tall is Malachi right now?
5'3".
Okay, that's about right. They assigned Malachi to guard me in the surplus room. So then it became, I'm going to be the distraction. Everybody else steal what you can. And I got this guy, and I'm going through, I'm like, what's in this bucket? I'm dumping it out, and like, oh, this is crap. And I throw it across. And this little Malachi didn't know what to do. He's a kid, right? He's not an adult. He's a kid. He's like, but I outrank him. Like, I just ignored him. I just kept tearing through. It felt like 2 minutes. It felt fast. I'm just doing my thing. I'm enjoying terrorizing this kid, just throwing things around, looking stuff. I look around, all my team's gone. Like, gone. And
you distracted him too well.
Yeah. No, they are gone. And so I go, oh, I guess I got to go find my commander. And the kid didn't even notice. Like, I couldn't tell what was going on, but I knew they took a bunch of stuff. Like, I did my job. I said, I gotta go find my team or whatever. Oh, thank God, whatever, get out of here. And I leave and I go to the door and Doug is set my car. And he loves fueling me too. And so he hits the top of the car like a TV show, like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm like, oh shit. I start running my car. I jump in, crank it up, and I take off. And I'm going out of the base. And after we get out of the base, then I look back to see if I had everybody I was supposed to have with me. That's what I noticed. This station wagon, you can't see out the back window because they have piled it full of everything that was not bolted down was in my car, including an outdoor like 5 foot by 4 foot metal sign that said, welcome to whatever the name of this base is, Civil Air Patrol Unit 69 or whatever. And this was the best day of my life. And we get back to the base and the other car with the adults, they're like, oh yeah, we got one over. We took some uniform pants we weren't supposed to have. We got some shirts. Like, oh yeah, come here. Pop the hatch and they're like, oh no, we're going to jail. I don't know how they arranged to get that sign back without getting into a load of trouble. We kept most of the stuff we stole. I like a huge American flag that we ended up flying outside the room we met in. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It appeared in my car and we smoked out of there as fast as we could. I think I even looked in the rearview mirror because I lived TV. That was my life as a teenager. I was a TV action star. And so I looked at the mirror and it's like one of those, the kid comes out of the door and looks at us all confused and shakes his head and goes back in type of deal. To this day, I don't know what happened to that, but I ended up getting, I think, a pair of boots out of it, some shirts. I don't know, man. It was stuff we couldn't even use, but yeah. A sign that says, welcome to Polk Air Force Base, Civil Air Patrol Unit 67 or whatever. I don't know.
Taking all the things.
Yeah.
Oh, I had some friends that they had a habit, they had a compulsion. I don't know. They would steal signs from highway signs, left, right,
Okay.
up and down, and I'm just like, okay, why? And they just they'd hang them up on their wall, but I'm like, oh, okay.
I've seen that. Somebody had a stop sign. I get if it has I mean, okay, I wouldn't still to this day, even as a teenager, like, okay, I get why it's funny, but I wouldn't do it. But if it has a funny name on the street sign or something, people do that. There's one, I cannot remember what it is. It sounds dirty and they cannot keep the sign up because people keep stealing it.
Yeah. There's one stretch of highway in, I think it was Mississippi where I was at, where the mile marker 420 kept getting stolen.
Yeah, stuff like that, and in the 80s and 90s, that wasn't a thing. So for someone to have a full-on action, we stole some stop signs. We did that too. They weren't.
Those signs are a lot bigger than you think.
They really are. Don't know what anybody. I think one of the college kids took one home and put it up on his wall in his apartment because in the early 90s you didn't have these things. So if you walked into somebody's apartment, like, is that a stop sign on your wall? Yeah. Craziness, Joe. Crazy. I believe the statute of limitations has absolutely passed. I'm good.
Hopefully. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
He allegedly did these things, people.
No, I 100%. Me and Michael Jackson, if you want to believe that, we did it together. So I think we are at the Parliament of Papas.
Yes, we are. And this will probably be a relatively short one if I had to guess, but we'll see. Maybe you and I will disagree. It's, at what age should I let my kids have social media accounts? Because at least for you and I growing up, social media, it wasn't a thing. Like MySpace was starting to become a thing when towards the tail end of my high school experience. But even then I wasn't, like, I had a MySpace, but I didn't really spend any time on it.
There, I said it.
Yeah, I wasn't on Facebook until 20. I think I was 20, 19 or 20. And so, Yeah, but there is, like anything with the internet, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad when it comes to social media.
I heard though, sometimes you got to take the good, sometimes you got to take the bad, but that's just the facts of life. Oh, I hate millennials so much. John, Devo's laughing his butt off at that joke. Phil, maybe. That was a good one.
Allegedly.
I'll allow it.
Oh man. So at least for us, my oldest is 13 and he is not on like, I guess it depends on how you define social media, because some people include Discord in that, and so my boys are on Discord. But when I think social media, I think of things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, things like that.
Mhm.
And so my boys are not on any of those platforms. And I right now the plan, I believe, is to wait until they're 16 to let them hop on there. Because there's just I've heard way too many stories of cyberbullying and other things, and just kids that have unsafe practices, regardless of how much you teach them.
Right.
And so we're planning on waiting until at least 16 before we let them into that realm.
I'm going to say good luck with that. Because kids now, there's a very good chance your kids will honor that. But sometimes kids find a way and they do their own thing. I personally wanted my kids to stay away from any kind of secret accounts. I definitely, technically speaking, on pretty much all social media in the U.S., I believe Australia passed a rule that said it was 16 or 18. Some other countries are moving to pass rules to say 16 or older kind of deal. But in the U.S., it's 13. So technically speaking, nobody under the age of 13 should have an account. But life finds a way. What I did with my kids, because everybody seeks connection and everybody has the 2 fiber gigabyte jealousy line in them somewhere. So their friends are doing it. So they want it, because there's a lot of parents who don't care. And my older kids, because TikTok wasn't a thing, that they had Musically, which became TikTok, but they showed it to me as they discovered, and they were 13, 14, I think, when Musically came out. They were showing it to me. I'm like, okay, that was my whole thing. It's a relationship. It's a talking point. I found other ways for them to connect with their friends on ways I can monitor. There used to be a chat app called Kick that was good for kids. But ultimately, I'm not as worried, because there's still some more. I'm not as worried about the cyberbullying, because we keep them isolated.
Because you're their biggest bully.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, Brad Williams, I think the short person comedian, talks about how dad made him tough, because his dad, and he told him he did it intentionally. Like, I'm gonna be your bully so that whenever you meet real bullies, they're nothing.
You know, there's a song about that by Johnny Cash.
A
Boy Named Sue.
Yes. Yes. Because there's another one by Kenny Rogers that's similar. Anyway, the should is the hard part. It is individual to your kid and what they can and can't handle. Crosby, as she was technically old enough to have these accounts, definitely was the one that got into drama with her friend groups. And you know, we did a time when we let the kids go to public school. I had to break Zoe's heart the other day because she tried some crap on me. I was like, I'm gonna let you know right now, I don't care how much you resist homeschool, I will just fail you and make your life miserable and make you will never go to public school. Because we tried it with the first set for real, like they went for a few years, problem, and I'm still having to sit at home and teach you. Done with that crap. Ryland barely had to touch the school to play on the sports, and the sports treated him like crap. Horrible. It was like official bullying. It was horrible. So I told him, Zoe, you're never going. But yeah, Crosby definitely got into drama with some cyberbullying, people doing it to her. I guarantee you she's my kid. She did something to other people, even though I didn't see it. And that's the harder thing, is I want to be able to see their account. So that's the only real rule we've had. If you have an account, you need to let us know what it is. And we've built trust with that. I don't go in and judge her content. I just make sure she's not doing anything that makes her a bad human being. And however you define that. I mean, I think it's kind of, we can all agree in areas what bad human beings are. And that's what I look for. I don't appreciate everything she does on it. To that end, like, I wanted Ryland to, like, I wanted to share videos of his interests and send that. So I got him. Oh, no, that's what it was. Not the videos came later. It was the MetaQuest. We were gifted a Oculus 2 at one point, and I wanted him to be able to have his own account because he had different interests in games. I had to set up, at the time, a fake account, basically, because he wasn't old enough. Now you can set up a kid's account and let them have that, but that wasn't available even a few years ago when this happened. And he was like 10. But I said, I don't want you on Facebook. This is for you to play the game. And he did okay with it because he just doesn't care. I am more worried about YouTube because they got onto YouTube. All my kids, without my knowledge or permission, found ways to get on YouTube. So then it's just about corralling it and going, okay, Malachi, Jebby, Bob's, you listen to me. What has been seen can never be unseen. And you, bless your little hearts. We all did this. As the internet was born, we all did this. We want to believe humans are good people. They are not. That you will think you're following something that's, oh, this looks like a fun video. And it's like the meme from the end of Wreck-It Ralph with the girl watching the bunny video and it hops and she screams. That's the internet. Even in the good videos, that's the internet. So that's what I try to teach my kids. And I try to teach them it's not real. It is, but it isn't. People would sit here, they'll, like this Crosby, they'll sit here and they'll stir you to watch the drama, but they won't do it to your face because you're my kid. And as much as I wish you won't do that, you'll punch somebody in the face if they said that to your face. That's who we are. I don't know, man. It's the shit part that's throwing me off here. Because I agree with you. I would love if my kids, if they were 16, hey, I taught you to drive a car. Here's the keys to the car you get to use. Here's your first cell phone so you can find maps and stuff. And now we're kind of ready because you're more out in the world. Now we're kind of ready to ease you into social media and seeing how that goes. Because it's also tougher in my house than I think in your house. Because I have lived this digital media life from the beginning. You know, before my kids were born, it's all they've known is strangers coming in to the house and hanging out and, you know, doing the, you know, now it's the backyard thing with the Dragon Con, but I've always done stuff like that. Now it's, oh, my dad's talking to this famous person. Now it's, oh, they go with me to this event because I need to watch them and just sit here and be quiet. It's, they were raised in this world. So telling them you can't have a phone or social media until you're 16, they were going to find a way. And I think that's more of the conversation. Honestly, it's about to have you need to have the conversation with your kids. And I know we talked a couple of weeks ago about Malachi wants his own phone and phone line. And I get it. It's something you can't teach. It's so hard to teach of patience for when you're ready. And let me tell you, when you think you're ready, you ain't ready. It's when you realize you're not ready that, okay, now we're ready. I used to think, Jeff, here's a little side note. We'll end it unless you got something else to say about this. But the side note is when I was 12, I'm like, they should lower the driving age to like 12 because I'm great. Because I drove that truck across the back, my friend's back 40 farm field just fine. And I drive a go-kart just fine. And I'm great at Mario Kart half the time. I should be able to drive at 12.
Half the time.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
But I fully believed in my head, well, this is just wrong. I should be able to drive at 12. I got in that car, started actually training at 15, and this is a different world now. It's a lot more people, a lot more crazies out there. So yeah, and that's the truth in life. When you go, maybe I'm not ready, you're probably a lot more ready than you think you are. When you go, oh, I'm ready.
It makes me think of that scene from Billy Madison where he goes back to the elementary school class. He's like, stay here as long as you can.
Yeah, because you know what? I got you, Joe. And I'll put this out there to the other family. Now, Joe's close enough. We see each other enough. This is enough for me to promise him with no fee. But if you want me to come to your house and do the same thing, that's probably going to be a traveling fee. You tell Malachi, all right, you let drunk Uncle Charles tackle you and you don't cry, you can have a phone.
You'll have to pay for the hospital bill. you will crush him.
I know how to control my strength, but also make you regret your life choices. And that's I'm just offering it. That's all. So, all right, I got something loaded here. I tried this. This is a new feature on Talk Studio, but we're gonna play the outro, and then we'll try to hit the stinger because it's built into our studio right this second. So let's see how this goes. But everybody, thank you for watching and listening. I'm actually happy to see. We don't normally talk about numbers, but I'm actually happy to see more people are coming out live by the numbers. Love you to play in the chat and talk with us. We love that. Love for you to send your voicemails. We love that. Tell a friend, share the episode. Joe puts out a ton of awesome clips. Spread the word. We're having great, fun conversations where dads get to be dads and we get to actually understand the world a little bit better and have a little bit of fun while we're doing it. And I think it's this button.
Follow these nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting. Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
Shut up, Mike.
You got it.
Brought to you by Poderation, podcast for nerds.
Oh, that's sad. It didn't work.
Ooh, natural 20.
It's playing through the speaker instead.
Brought to you by
All right.
I can hear it.
Poderation. We love you guys.
I can